Okay, so let's take a look at how you can install Jamovi on Windows. So Jamovi is like your typical SPSS tool, but this tool is built on the top of R package, right? So if you're not aware of R language, you can simply type in R language and you will find something like this. Now here you can install our language and try this on your own, but if you are following along for Jamovi, I would recommend just installing this and coming back to Jamovi here. Now the next thing, click on this Jamovi desktop. It will take you to another page where you get to download this package for Windows, right? Once downloaded, you will find it on desktop something like this. Let's double click this. I have also downloaded R in our studio, so if you want, you may want to check this particular package as well. Click install. It should go with the defaults. You can even check the directory where it will be installed, so you will be seeing this in C program files and Jamovi folder. Now at the end you will have to finish the setup and you will find your Jamovi installed. So I'm on Windows 11, so I'll have to just check through this or simply type in Jamovi. Right now I can click on open and it should open it. Right now the application should look something like this. Right now here you see on the left hand side you have spreadsheet like view, on the right hand side you have blank view where usually your visualization and data view will appear, right? So this spreadsheet like view is basically like variable. So if you have used IBM's SPSS, then you know those variable columns. So this is basically holding your data from that CSV file or SAV file or DAT file. That data will be here, right? And you will be able to check that through this variables column. Here you can see your ABC columns are here. You can even give description to each of them, right? So just select the one, enter the description, keep adding variables if you want. Then you also have few options related to this variable tab where you can redo, undo, then edit, right? And you will see variable is description, then major type, nominal, ordinal, continuous, and ID. Then you have its integer type, integer, decimal, text. These three accepted. If it contains missing value, you can add that. Then you have levels listed, right? So next thing is compute. Here you see computed variable is description, formulas, and you can check all of that here, right? Then comes your multiple variables as you click on them, right? And simply you want to shift back to ribbon, press here. Then you have transform, right? Here you see the transform variable and you can keep on adding that by pressing this or simply using this forward backward arrows, right? Now then comes your add and delete option. So let's say if I select this and if I choose to delete, it will ask you delete column, click OK, it will be removed. Then you keep on doing this, right? Then it will take you there. Here let me clean some of the columns and show you, right? Now as you can see the columns here are removed. You can also add using this add button. Then comes filter, right? Here you have formula, description, and you get to filter out that. Next comes your data tab where you get the default view like this, right? So we'll be mostly working within data analysis and edit. So edit may appear something like your typical word output, and here you see also the ribbon looks similar to some sort of editor or word, right? Then comes analysis tab. If you check here, you have exploration, where you get to choose between descriptives, scatter plot, or Pareto chart. Similarly, you have TDS, and you get to choose between one sample, paired sample, independent sample. If you're working with ANOVA, you also have one way, repeated measures, ANOVA and COVA, and non-parametrics as well, right? Similarly, you have regressions. You get to choose between logical regression, 2n and ordinal, and correlational matrix, partial, and linear regression. Then have frequencies. So if you happen to work with that, you get to choose between one sample, contingency, and log linear. There is also factor, where you have scale analysis, data reductions to choose from, right? So that's for analysis tab, then data tab, and finally edit tab. So these type of tabs you have for working with your data, right? So basically we have seen how to download Jamovi, how to check the interface, and similarly we can also get some data imported. Click on open, then we can browse. Let's go to some files and let's pick one, COVID-19's data. Let's see if it shows us something. And here you see we have variables: date, confirmed, recovered, death, and increase rate, right? And if we happen to use exploration on this with scatter plot, and if I want to plot that, let's say confirm, or let's say death and increase rate, right? So let's go with confirmed on x-axis and increase rate on y-axis. As you can see, it will draw a scatter plot out of this data. So this is specifically for your COVID-19's data. If you have any other data file, you may want to check that instead of my example. So if you happen to have any SAV file from your SPSS samples, then you can also use that, right? So this was just a demo for you to get an idea of how Jamovi works. Okay, now that we have seen the interface, we also seen how to install and get started with Jamovi. There are a few things that you can also do with it, which is going to your menu. These three lines here basically allow you to check the menu. Now here I will click on open button, right? And then data library, which has these 4 sample data libraries, one being this big 5. So this is basically a psychology data, so we'll be checking that out. Here you see neurotics, extroversion, openness, agreeable, and conscientiousness. Okay, so that's pretty above the head for me right now, because I'm not really much familiar with some of the terms within psychology. So these are 5 columns displaying its respective values, also known as big 5 sample data for you. So if you happen to be in this field, you can analyze this sample data, right? Then if you go back again, click open data library, then you have tooth growth data, which is your ANOVA dataset. So if we open that, so we happen to have multiple windows here. So here you see for tooth growth you have length, then supplement, then dosage, right? You can analyze this data for specific ANOVA operations. You click on it and you can check one-way ANOVA, then repeated measures, then Manitoba, or if you happen to have non-parametric options, you can go with one-way ANOVA, repeated measures, right? So there are also specific measures mentioned under that, right? Now we can close this, go for another data. Now if we go to open data library, here we also have one more data, which is Anderson's iris data, which if you are from our background, then you are aware of iris, ANOVA, and few others. So iris is pretty much popular in our world, and I'm sure you will be familiar with sepal length, width, petal length, width, and species. So this is pretty popular data set for you. So you can go through that, analyze your data values, and view it, right? So if you check this data and happen to analyze with various analysis options, it would be fun to go through as well. So for now, I know these two data sets, but if you go and check for a few others, like let's say bugs, tooth growth, these are the only four that I know, right? If you open it, go through this as well. Here you see gender, region, education, LDLF, LDHF, HDLF, HDHF. This is another data as well, right? So with Jamovi, you get around 4 data sets from the library for you to practice and get the full idea of how Jamovi works.